Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. We're taking a quick look at Bitcoin, just seeing what's going on. We have a pretty significant amount of volume flowing in. Generally speaking, it's best not to trade when that happens, but I'm sticking to my guns on our short position at about 87,000, mainly because that was a previous fair value gap. There's a handful of other reasons why, but we can see a lot of potential for retracement here, but more importantly, potential to break this descending trend too. So do not get it twisted here. I'm not fully bearish, just letting you know that based on tariff news and the way that things are kind of unfolding, it would make sense for us to see somewhat of a pullback later today to maybe catch that dip. But if we look at liquidation here, folks, just to quickly clarify, there is liquidation at 88,000 when I last looked at this here earlier today, and then liquidation delta was very high. In other words, we're at about 10 billion in long liquidation delta. That tells us that we are in a position right now where the bulls are in control. But furthermore, we need to recognize that we're retesting our descending trend line for like the 6th time. So inevitably it can break, don't get me wrong, but I think at this point there is just a decent chance that we see a pullback, at least in maybe the 85K range. I'll explain more on the charts here. But here, 88,000, you can see liquidation range there between 88 and 88.5. And then if we look at 90,000, we can recognize, of course, anything above 90,000 is pretty much a heyday there. If we do see 88,000, we're probably going to see 89 to 91K as the next potential area of consideration. Unfortunately, liquidation delta isn't pulling up here for some reason, but I can tell you, I looked at it earlier, it's right around 10 billion in the green, basically telling us we have 10 billion more longs than shorts in the market. What do you think market makers are going to want to do when we get some neutral and or bearish news on tariffs? What if it's positive? Well, we have seen some benefit there in the past with positive tariffs, or as far as, like just more so delaying the tariffs. And that did result slightly positive, but it inevitably went down within about 24 to 48 hours. So we're statistically very unfavored to see any positivity with Bitcoin as a result of the tariffs or good or bad news, right? So that's generally the concept there. So when we take a look at the daily here, just to kind of give you perspective here too, we've seen there's a top right there at about 109, then we had a second top at 106, couldn't quite pass 100,000, got rejected at 94. Right there at about 88,000, roughly the current area of upper liquidation. It's all right here in this range. That's essentially our most recent high. So once more, we're gonna need 2 or 3 more days of volume to be able to get through this 88,000 barrier. So me personally, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the price pulling back once more, just based on simple odds of how consistent we've seen the price pulling back. But I don't want you to kind of walk away from this, being fully bearish. I'm not, honestly. I hope that we break this $89,000 to $90,000 range. If we can establish higher highs, break above our 200 or 50-day SMA, which we're testing both of them sort of today, then there's a decent chance we see the price continue to run. So between now and then, just know we're seeing early signs of trend reversal, which once more, we've been faked out by this many times in the past, but we can see we're up over 50 on the RSI for the moment, stochastic swinging up, MACD converging. Those are some positive things, but we're still not over the 200 or the 50-day SMA, and generally speaking, those are two very bearish resistance type of ranges, if you will. Okay, even though they're not totally resistances, it's easy to kind of construe them as when you're below them, you're bearish. When you're above them, you're bullish. That's kind of the concept. So a 4-hour time frame, we can recognize we've broken above all moving averages. That's generally favorable. As we've highlighted previously, yesterday and the day before, as a matter of fact, pretty much this entire week, we can see that the short-term moving averages, the short-term transitions are showing bullish and continuation potential. So by no means is there anything here that's bearish whatsoever. So my premise of wanting to short this coin is mostly just coming from just statistical analysis of how we've responded to this kind of market correction in the past. So or this fundamental catalyst, if you will. Furthermore, though, we are starting to see some overextension on the hourly time frame. We can see our moving average range percentile is basically giving us a sell signal here. So in a lot of ways, we are due to correct ourselves. In addition to the fact that we're overextended based on TD sequential, we've been running 9 hours straight without retracement. So while it's good that we're up in this range here, I think it's maybe not the best idea to consider a late long. I also would urge you to be careful if you're considering a short. Just because I'm planning to do so doesn't mean you should. And honestly, the short that I'm planning to take, it's not going to be a monumental short. I'm not trying to short to zero. I'm not trying to put my entire life's worth into it. It's literally just a small percent of my portfolio, keeping it safe and simple, which is what I've done consistently throughout the year. So that's kind of where you're at there. And future reference too, if you're kind of curious about the trades that we take last month, albeit we had to close out a couple of trades in the red, for the most part, we statistically took a lot of profit that month. Okay, so again, this is all based on just simple technical analysis that I provide in my channel. Okay, and I'm showing this to you not as a brag at all, because this isn't great. We've done way better in the past, but I want you to note that there was a lot less trades last month than usual because the market doesn't giving as many opportunities. So please recognize that too. Don't try to overtrade and overdo it. Just make sure that you're working within your means, and if your means are to to make a little bit each day, I think that's probably a good goal to have. Anyways, I appreciate you watching. Thanks so much again for your time. Look forward to seeing the next one. Be sure to join us on Twitter, Telegram, or Discord. We have a lot of new members coming over to our premium groups, so just make sure you read through our trade alerts. I provide you with trade updates on where we're at. In fact, this is my update from yesterday, just mentioning I wanted to short the 86 to 87K range. And then, of course, signals guide. You have to read through the signals guide to ensure that you know how to structure your trades effectively if you're going to plan to follow my trades. Okay. All right, folks, that's all we got. Hope you have a good one. Thanks so much again for your time. We'll see you soon. Take care.